Wide receiver Curtis Samuel saw a bit of a renaissance with Carson Wentz back in the fold. As we saw at the beginning of the year, Curtis Samuel had 4 of his first 5 games with at least 9 fantasy points. From week 8 on, we saw 6 such games, but Carson Wentz took over in week 16, 5 receptions, 52 yards, and the touchdown. Curtis Samuel probably going to be relied upon a little bit more in the rushing game. Now that Antonio Gibson is going to be out, I don't think Brian Robinson is going to get 100% of the rushes that Antonio Gibson would have, because Gibson had 5 carries in the week 16 game. But Curtis Samuel is being drafted as the wide receiver 48, and I feel like that's still too low. Curtis Samuel right now in the expert consensus on Fantasy Pros is the wide receiver 41, so more of a high-end wide receiver 4, low-end wide receiver 3 than the low wide receiver 4 that he's being drafted on Sleeper. So give me a little bit more sprinkling of Curtis Samuel. If he gets into the end zone like he did in week 16, we're talking wide receiver 20 or better. And this was the first time since week 2 when Carson Wentz played that Curtis Samuel finished as a top 20 wide receiver outside of that Minnesota game where he went 3 for 65 and also had a receiving score. If you like the content and you find it helpful, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. So there had only been 1 game since week 2 where Curtis Samuel finished as a top 20. And if he gets a little bit more room to run, a little bit more opportunity with Antonio Gibson out, Curtis Samuel might be an interesting speculative flex play for week 17.